Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy 6Shot and the 6Shot Gaming Channel. Today I have another what to do on block Vifia. This time it's all about Lord Zamasu. So y'all know the drill. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure to hit that notification bell to get alerted every single time I drop a new Vifia. Also make sure to check the description box below for all my social media accounts that you can reach me on. Facebook, Twitter, Discord, etc, etc. But yeah, first thing I would like to say about Zamasu is that he's very assist dependent. I mean, you could play him stand alone, but if you have the right assist with him, that really makes him function as a character way better than no assist at all. And there's like two types of assists you need for this character, which I'm going to tell you in a second. So basically, you're going to need a lockdown assist if you want to play Zamasu more mix-up heavy. And you're going to need an assist that's going to help you extend with his combos, because by himself, combos wise, he doesn't do that much damage. So you need an assist to help you to extend your combos to get more damage. And then you're going to need an assist to help you lock down so you can apply more mix-ups. But anyways, let's get started with this video. So the first thing we're going to go over is his God Slicer attack on block. And I'm calling it the God Slicer because it's basically the God Slicer. So this move is 100% safe. As you can see right here, there's no way you can punish this move. You recover quick enough so you're able to block if your opponent blocks this move. And I'm showing you by multiple characters that you can't be punished. So yeah, this move was 100% safe. So the one thing about this move is on hit or on block, anytime this move connects with your opponent, you could press the key blast button and cancel into Zamasu flight stance. And the one good thing about Zamasu flight stance is that he can actually block in flight. So that's very, very, very good for a character that has flight. So when you cancel the flight stance, automatically you're going to go up a certain amount of height, as you can see right there. So this is a light version when you cancel the flight stance. This is the medium version that flies you back a little bit when you cancel the flight stance. And this is the enhanced version, and it crosses through your opponent's body when you cancel to flight stance. So normally when you use Zamasu's God Slicer attack, basically, and you don't cancel the flight, basically your offense kind of stop unless you use the assist to keep it going. But basically your offense kind of stop and you can't really do much, and it's time for your opponent to it's your opponent's turn to attack. But when you cancel into flight, since you go up a certain amount of height, right, if your opponent try to retaliate with light attacks, you can easily punish them just like so. So that's a very good tactic to use, but if your opponent knows that's coming, they can easily 2H you or down heavy you. So you gotta be aware about that. But they have to know that move was coming. They can't react to it. But a thing that you can do also is that Zamasu could block and fight. So you can easily block and fight if you know this is about to come. So some characters 2H is not really equipped well enough to deal with Zamasu flight. So you can easily dodge out the way of certain moves. Another thing is that if you want to make the Zamasu block on flight, you have to know the flight is coming and press down heavy immediately. Because if you try to react to the flight, you will whiff. Another thing is Zamasu could fly up and cancel his flight by pressing back in the key blast button. And then he could attack out of the flight just like so and punish your opponent for whiffing attempts. Another thing you can do is just fly back, shoot key blasts, and then vanish and then get a full combo from there. So going back to if your opponent's pressing buttons at the God Slicer, so normally everybody light attack forward advances them just like so. So you can easily fly back, cancel your flight, and then come down with a heavy attack on their head and get a full combo punish from there. So that's very, very good. But the only thing is some characters have way better auto combos, and if they fully press the auto combo just like so, as you're gonna see right here, they can easily take you out of that. So you gotta be aware about that. So I think the best way you could deal with flight is by just super dashing at your opponent, because once you block one time in flight, you're out of flight. Another thing you do is just chase them down and try to do hit them out of flight just like so. Another thing I like to add is that all versions of the God Slicer, light, medium, and heavy, is 100% safe on block as well. So be aware about that. So moving on, so a couple other things about the God Slicer. The light version has a gap in between, and if you press some buttons in between the gap, you will be hit. and it causes just a regular soft knockdown once you get hit. Another thing is that the gap is not large enough for you to do vanish through it. So the medium version, same thing, it has a gap, and if you press some buttons you will be hit, and if it does hit you, it's going to cause a slider knockdown. But this move has a little bit slower startup than the light version, so you can easily do a gap in between. And the hands version has the both the best worlds. It has the speed of the light version and the sliding knockdown of the medium version. So if you get hit, you're going to get the sliding knockdown, and you can't vanish through it at all. So one thing about the move is that you can reflect this move. As you can see right here, you can reflect it, but the only thing is when you reflect it, you're still going to be the person that's Zamasu is still going to be safe. They're going to be 100% safe because they just pushed them too far back out for you to do anything at all. As you can see, I'm gonna reflect with Kid Buu and then do it down medium and still can't punish. So push them too far out, and then you could block in time. So reflecting this move is like Another thing about when you reflect this move, you can still cancel to fight when you reflect, because the God Slices still make contact with your opponent. So if you press X or key blast button when this move gets reflected, you can still go into flight. And since there is a gap in between your block string and the God Slicer, you can easily do a invincible startup move like a DP or a level 3 super. So yeah, keep that in mind. So moving on to the Wall of Light. So Zamasu summons lightning above his head, and he has 3 different versions. The light version automatically shoots out the lightning after 2 seconds. The medium version automatically shoots out the lightning after 4 seconds. And the hands version automatically shoots out the lightning after 2 seconds and 4 seconds. So when you try to use this move in a block string by itself, the startup is crazy. So you're definitely going to get punished. So don't ever use this move by itself. What you can do though is use a assist to lock the opponent down like Kid Buu or Gotenks, and then call out the lightning safely, just like so. And then from there you can get certain type of mix-up. And the proper timing to calling out those assists is after the down medium, and then you go into your standing medium, and then you call the assist at the same time as your standing medium. But moving on from there, so after you call out the Wall of Lightning and you have the proper assist timing, you can keep them in a true block string, and as you can see, they cannot reflect at all until you're finished. So you can follow up and keep them in a block string, and they can't reflect at all. So that's very good. So as you can see, no matter how many times I'm mashing on reflect, I cannot reflect until there's a gap in the next block string. So moving on, Zamasu can actually combo off of his universal overhead when he has the Wall of Light up. So if you time it correctly for when the lightning shoots out after your universal overhead hits, the Wall of Light is going to hit your opponent, and you can continue in the combo just like so. So then you have a little mix in between light forward medium, or light pause, or delay a second down medium into a full combo from there. So the only thing about this mix-up is when you go for the universal overhead after the light, there is a gap, so it can't easily be reflected just like so. And when you try to mimic the same timing of the universal overhead with the delayed down medium, they can get reflected as well. So yeah. But when you go for the proper timing of the down medium, so you go light down medium, chain them all together, they can't reflect. So if they try to reflect, they will get hit. So a couple things you could do to get around that is just by baiting out the reflect and grabbing your opponent with a Dragon Rush. That's just so simple as that. Another thing you could do is call out the medium version, right? And since the medium version has a different timing of the light version, you could probably catch an opponent who's just going to sit there and block because they think in the light version of the Wall of Light is going to come out, and it ends up being the medium version. And then you can get different types of, like, how can I say, you can get different types of timing and mix-ups when you pull the medium version out, because your opponent is going to think it's a light version, but then you gotta keep on applying pressure because it's the medium version, just like so. And you can even pull out the hands version. The hands version, you get to play with the mix-up of the light version and the medium version as well. So you could go for 2 mix-ups instead of just going for 1 mix-up, as you can see from right here. But like always, you can always reflect, so that's a pretty big thing. And you can reflect even if they block the universal overhead. You can reflect right after. So And another way to get around this is just by doing your level 3 super or invincibility start move like a DP. That's gonna punish the gap in between your block strings. So the next move we're gonna talk about that you can incorporate into your block strings is the Ki Blast version of his God Slicer. I can't remember the name of it, so I'm just gonna call it the Ki Blast version of the God Slicer. So moving on from there, this move is 100% safe on block and it pushes your opponent out a little bit out. So for you to actually make contact on that first light hit, you have to actually do a micro dash. But besides that, if you don't do the micro dash, your first light hit will whiff. And there's a gap in between this, so if you're pressing buttons, you will be hit. So you don't want to be caught pressing buttons. And if you catch the opponent when they press a button, you can just vanish and continue the combo just like so. Another thing is with this move is that since there is a gap, you can easily vanish the opponent to get out of it. So keep that in mind. Another thing you can do is just you can reflect it, but since the opponent is too far back, most characters can't really do much about it. They can't punish it. Kid Buu, on the other hand, he actually can punish it with his furthest version of his down medium attack. And I'm pretty sure there's other characters that can punish it. You just have to go and train more and explore what characters that exactly can't punish after reflect. But it's not that many characters that could do much about it. And moving on from there, since there is a gap, you go to do an invincibility startup move or a level 3 super just like so. So that's always good against gaps. So in the corner, if this move happened to hit, you can get a full corner combo just like so. So it's pretty good to try to pressure your opponent with this in the corner at sometimes, not all the time. And if you have the right assist, you can get combos just like so. So yeah, he gets very good damage in the corner with this move. So the next move we're going to talk about that you can incorporate into your block strings is Zamasu's Flight. And Zamasu's Flight is really good to incorporate in your block strings. So by itself, Zamasu's Flight is pretty good. It can catch opponents on whiffing since you fly up a certain distance up in the air. And your opponent going to have to know that your flight is coming for them to really do so much about it. They could super dash at it, but they really have to know that your opponent that you're gonna do flight. So most 9 times out of 10 they probably gonna whiff after the flight. And if your opponent's looking for a God Slice and they trying to reflect, you can go to flight, cancel flight, and then punish them just like so. So out of flight you have access to all of your movement options once you cancel it, as you can see. And then you can even just fly around freely in flight. And then when you cancel flight by pressing back and the Ki Blast button, you can do forward dash, you can go into flight and then do a back dash, you can do a flight and then double jump, you can do a whole bunch of shenanigans out of flight when you cancel it. So that's really good. So when you incorporate flight into a block string with a lockdown assist, you can get some pretty nasty mix-ups, just like so. You get some high and low stuff when canceling the flight with the back and Ki Blast button. So you get an overhead and you can cancel it and then go into a low. And when you do flight at the lowest point possible to the ground, and when you cancel it, you're always going to be able to come out the air of the low or with an overhead attack or overhead light. Even though you're so low to the ground, you're always going to be able to. So that's where the high-low mix-up comes from. You cancel flight, go with the overhead, or cancel it and go into a low once you touch the ground. So a couple things about flight is when you go into flight from the ground, you're automatically going to be set to a fixed amount of height, and this is always the fixed amount of height that you're going to go to when you do it from the ground. Another thing about on flight is you have access to one attack option in the air, and once that option is done, you're gonna be your flight is gonna end. Now there's a ways around this. If like say you do the God Slicer attack in the air, and by doing the God Slicer attack in the air, you don't have to do the full motion. All you gotta do is press the corresponding button. And if you make contact with your opponent, you can just press X or the Ki Blast button, sorry, and you're gonna continue to stay in the air. Another thing is when you use the wall of light, you just do back and one of the corresponding strength buttons. And after your flight ends, you could just press the wall of light button again by pressing back and the button again, and it's going to continue to stay in flight, as you see, just like so. And this is me just showing off when you do the God Slicer move how to keep staying in flight. All you gotta do is just press the button for the God Slicer move, and there's right after that press the Ki Blast button to stay in flight. So move on from there. So flight, like I said, when you do on the ground, you automatically go up a fixed amount of height. But when you activate flight on the ground, it's a different. I mean, on the air. Sorry, it's a different story. When you activate flight in the air, you automatically stay in the same position of where you activated flight at whenever you do it in the air. And this is very important for when you got to learn the Tiger knee input of flight. So if you don't know about the Tiger knee method, all you have to do is input the motion of whatever the attack is. In this case, it's quarter circle back, and press up back or up forward at the same time as you press the corresponding Ki Blast button or move button or whatever. So in this case, all you're doing is pressing quarter circle back, up back, Ki Blast button, and then you're gonna jump. And in the first possible frame that you could on that jump, you're going to cancel into the special move. In this case, it's flight, and then you have access to all the mix-ups. You can go for, after you cancel the reflect, you can go for the overhead. You can go for the low. If you feel like your opponent is going to try, just sit down, block, or reflect, you can cancel your flight and even come down into a Dragon Rush grab, just like so. So these are very, very important things to do. So one quick input about Tiger Knee Flight is that you cannot Tiger Knee Flight in your block string. What you have to do is pause a split second after your block string and then input the Tiger Knee Flight. The reason because of this is because you can't jump cancel normals on block. You can only do it on hit. But in sparking mode, you could jump cancel normals on block. So you can take advantage of this in sparking mode, but regular wise, you cannot do so. So if you're having trouble doing a Tiger Knee input, I have another way you could do flight as low as possible to the ground. This way requires you to do a jumping Ki Blast as quickly as possible without the low. So you do a jump Ki Blast and immediately press the Ki Blast button and you special cancel into flight. And with this, you can still get all the same type of mix-ups as well with the overhead or low mix-ups, so on and so forth. The only thing is about this method is a little bit slower than the regular Tiger Knee input. So when you do this method, your opponent has time to reflect out of it because they're not in a true block string. So you just have to bait the reflect if you know that the reflect is coming and do a Dragon Rush grab and so on and so forth to punish your opponent. So let's talk about some corner pressure stuff with Zamasu. So Zamasu can do some pretty interesting things in the corner. He can do a double overhead with his down heavy attack, even though you can't combo off of it, but it's still pretty good. He can go with the overhead to a low. That's good as well. So that's pretty standard stuff that you can do. Then he could do overhead into a cancel into his flight and then come out and cancel his flight and with an overhead attack or cancel the flight into a low. So he gets crazier with his mix-ups in that type of way. Another thing he can do is just flight, cancel flight, Dragon Rush, so you feel like your opponent's going to be doing a reflect or anything like that. So that's good as well. Another thing he could do against an opponent who likes to jump is when you do your safe jump setup with Zamasu, if you feel like they're going to jump again after they block the heavy attack, what you can easily do is just Dragon Rush out of your flight just like so. And that's very good to know that you could Dragon Rush out of flight. You don't have to cancel your flight to Dragon Rush. You can just straight up press the Dragon Rush button and you can Dragon Rush out of flight. So that's very good to know. So moving on, we're going to be talking about Zamasu's alternate level 1, the Sabaki no Yaiba. I like saying it in Japanese more than English, but it's the Blaze of Judgment move. So Sabaki no Yaiba is kind of like Piccolo's Hell Zone Grenade mix-up. You use this on knockdown and stuns the bar meter, and then after that, depending on what your opponent does, you get mix-ups from there because it locks your opponent down. So that's very good. But then it's also bad at the same time because it functions just like Piccolo's Hell Zone Grenade. And what I mean by that is when you get knocked down and your opponent gets up, they can easily reflect and it pushes your opponent back, and you can't really do nothing out of that, as you can see. So one thing you could do is do your whole sub. You do your Sabaki no Yaiba as a Oki option, and you could do one mix-up, see if your opponent is reflecting from there, and if they are reflecting, you get knocked back, and from there, at the end of the reflex, at the end of the super, you could try to do a Dragon Rush grab, but you have to be very on point on when you're trying to do this. So yeah. So real quick, I just want to show a really cool way how you can set up your Sabaki no Yaiba mid-screen. So right after you hit with your medium version or even the enhanced version of your Goddess Slicer, all you have to do is just press the key blast button to make yourself go into flight mode, fly back a little bit, and then activate Sabaki no Yaiba. And then from there, your opponent is going to wake up, and they're going to have to wake up into your Sabaki no Yaiba. So they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to block, reflect, or whatever they got to do. But there's no way for them to get out of this. But yeah, folks, that's pretty much the end of the ropes for this video. What to do on block Zamasu. Hopefully he was able to learn something new. If he wasn't able to learn something new, please smash the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you haven't had a chance to play BlazBlue Cross-Tag Battle, check it out. It's a very good game, and I'm doing content on that as well. Guides, tutorials, so on and so forth. So if you haven't seen none of my videos yet for BlazBlue Cross-Tag Battle, make sure to check it out. See if it's a game that you'd be interested in if you haven't got it already, and so on and so forth. But move on from there. Like always, people, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Check out some of the past content. Make sure to hit that notification bell to get alerted every time I drop a new vid for y'all. Also, make sure to check the box below to get access to all my social media accounts, Facebook, Discord, so on and so forth. But like always, people, I hope all you have a nice day. Peace.